Okay, first, sorry for the long delay, but time has finally come for part 2. My assessment is back, my recipe is confirmed, and you would think that I'm ready to start selling. Unfortunately, we're still not there yet. In order to sell, you need to register on the portal, and in order to do that, you need to have everything else ready. Packaging, photos, the PIF file, and a whole list of other stuff. In this episode, I'll go through labelling, packaging choices, and costings. First up, labelling. So the assessment was really useful for labelling, and my assessor was kind enough to answer any extra questions that I had. At first, I was a little bit scared to do the labels, but they're actually simpler than I thought. For example, olive oil turns into sodium olivate, and coconut oil turns into sodium cocoate. And the fragrance oil can just be listed as aroma. My assessor also gave me an allergen calculator to make sure that I list any required allergens correctly. You'll also need to include the responsible person and address, as well as the batch number and the best before icon. I also decided to put the weight on the back, with the little E to say that it's not exact, the name of the soap so that I could easily identify each label, and the wording for external use only. If irritation occurs, please discontinue use. Moving on to the labels for the front of the soap, where the branding and the soap name will be, I've recruited an amazing artist I know to create a logo for each fragrance, and I'm going to be sure to include my brand and clearly label that it's handmade soap. To help me and the artist with the labelling, I made a document with a picture of each soap and a description of the scent and the key features. I also put together a sort of mood board for the kind of graphic styles that I liked. I am super excited to see the final outcome for these, and I'll definitely keep you posted. Next, I looked at packaging choices. When I was only making soap for myself or friends as a hobby, I used shrink wrap. It's waterproof, it's cheap, and it's super easy to use. However, there is a big movement towards going plastic free, and I want to be part of it. I've looked into wax paper, glassine bags, craft boxes, and compostable cellophane. In the end, I went with the glassine bags. Wax paper isn't necessarily recyclable, and it's not as clear, so it didn't show my product as well. The craft card was significantly more expensive, and the cellophane, although compostable, was not recyclable, and also because it looks so plastic-like, I was worried that people wouldn't be able to actually tell that I was plastic-free. The final section for today's video is costings, and this one might sound really like common sense, but before buying a bunch of stuff, work out what your intention is. There are a lot of questions to ask before committing to your first big purchase. Yes, it's cheaper per gram to buy in bulk, but do you really need 15 kilos of something that you only use 5 grams at a time? Will it stay in date long enough? Do you have room to store it? And how much are you actually wanting to invest initially? I personally decided to buy enough for 2 or 3 loaves of each soap and then see which sells and adjust my buying habits accordingly. I am sacrificing some savings by not buying in large amounts initially, and I do risk selling out and having to wait for the next 6-week curing cycle, so every decision does have risks and benefits. Here are some examples of these risks and benefits that might make you think which path to take or whether you want to try a sort of middling approach. Thank you for watching. I hope this video has been helpful and will help some of you on your own soaping journeys. In future episodes, I will hopefully be covering the PIF file, batch information, the UK portal, insurance, and different ways to sell. So be sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments if there's anything else you want me to talk about.